Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Cómo está? How's it going? This is Mexico City, Chinatown. Today is Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. Currently 68 degrees Fahrenheit, that is 20 degrees Celsius. A perfect, nice, warm, sunny day here in the largest city in Mexico, its capital, and also the largest city in North America. Mexico City is the 6th most populous city in the world. There is a lot to see here, and I am not going to see very much of it today. We will just scratch the surface, but should be very interesting. I don't have big plans for the day to try to, go long distances across the city. Feeling a little bit lazy today, but there is much to see right around here, including the Zocalo, the main square, which I am going to walk over to now. The question is which way to go. And just remember that I actually want to go the other way. Wait, I need to check my phone because there is a nice park that I walked through earlier, which is on the way to the Zocalo. So let's find my way over there. So down there is the park. Very interesting neighborhood here. We have some nice looking Mexican food here, even though we're in the Chinatown. Enchiladas, chilaquiles, tortas. And then there you can see this big park. And it is a busy day today. Nice to see it so lively. So a little bit of the history of Mexico City. There is evidence of human inhabitation here that goes back more than 10,000 years and possibly as much as almost 15,000 years ago, based on human remains that were found. But the city was officially established in 1325 by the Aztecs, also called the Mexica people. So that was before the Spanish arrived. And then the Spanish conquistadors arrived. Hernan Cortez came here in 1519 and kind of pretended to be friendly, but then imprisoned the king at the time, tried to take over the city, failed, and then they left, and the Aztec people here designated a new king, who then died, and the Spanish conquistadors decided to attempt to take the city once again, and they succeeded in 1521. Palacio de Bellas Artes. Let's see what we can see inside here.
Febrero
Beautiful building. And so I was just asked for a ticket to go up the stairs there. I guess a ticket for the museum, Museo del Palacio de Bellas Artes. But I am not in a museum mood at the moment. Want to get back out there and keep the legs moving, walking along on this beautiful sunny day. So let's get over to the Zocalo. And so the Zocalo is straight on down this way. So, my upcoming travel plans are in place. I took the day off from filming yesterday and booked a bunch of flights and hotel rooms. So, I'm just going to keep it a bit of a surprise as usual, but
Hello.
hint, hello, how are you? A hint, I am flying west. I booked 6 different flights. Wow. Let's just take a look at this building. Okay, Venezia Misteriosa. I guess that's what's inside there. Italian exposition of some sort. But I was curious to see the facade of this church. Look at that. And take a quick look inside. So, I booked 6 flights. 3 of them are all booked together to get to one destination, but 6 flights in total to 3 different destinations, 2 of which will be new for me. And so that's over the course of the next about 2 weeks. It's gonna be warm. All of the places that I'm going. So that's gonna be nice. That is in 3 days. So I have tomorrow to explore the city here as well. And then my flight is 2 days after that, but it is at 6 in the morning, which means I will need to check in at like 3:30 for an international flight. And of course, you don't really want to deal with that from the center of Mexico City, having to get a taxi at that time of the night. And so I am staying at the capsule hotel right in the airport in the Mexico City Juarez International Airport there, so that I can just get up and walk down to check in for the flight. And so I will head for the airport day after tomorrow, and not sure what I'll end up doing that day, but looking forward to this next phase of the new year of traveling. And yes, I will be going to a brand new country. One is a new place that isn't a separate country, and one is a new country that I'm really, really looking forward to. All right, Zocalo, straight up ahead.
Ajá, suenan los tambores. Ajá. Escucha ahora, el tambor te llama y está llamando con sentimiento y manana. Y están llegando todos los rumberos y de lengua están sonando los cueros. Y ay, qué rico está sonando mi rumba. Y ay, qué rico está sonando mi son. Me lo voy a llevar hasta la tumba. Y ahora yo te invito a mi fiestón. Rompe los cueros, suenan los tambores. Llegó la hora para olvidar los dolores. H Lukumi, H Olofi, H para todos los señoras y señores. Y ay, qué rico está sonando mi rumba. Y ay, qué rico está sonando mi son. Y lo voy a llevar. Y ahora yo te invito a mi fiestón. ¡Ay! Tu pra, pra, suena mi tambor como va. Ay, suena mi tambor como va.
And here we are at the Zocalo. So, in my video of Puebla, when I went to the Zocalo there, then I remarked how it was so different from the Zocalo of Mexico City. There it was much smaller for one thing, but also trees in the middle of it, more of a park, and raised a little bit with a fountain in the middle, various different monuments and statues and things. But here, as you can see, very simple, plain, and massive. And so the official name of the plaza here is the Plaza de la Constitution, referring to Mexican independence. But before that, it was called the Plaza Mayor, Main Square, or the Plaza de Armas. And so how it got the name Zocalo is that they planned to build a big pillar representing the independence of Mexico. But they only got the base built and never got around to building the rest of the pillar, I guess. A Zocalo is a word for the base of a pillar. And so there was a base of a pillar here for a long time, and then I guess it got covered over the course of the many years. They never built the full pillar, and so they ended up calling it the Zocalo because of that. And then other cities around Mexico adopted the same name because the Mexico City main square was called the Zocalo. But the history here also goes back to the Aztecs. This was their main ceremonial site before the Spanish arrived. Okay, let's get a closer look at this church here. And so this is the Mexico City Metropolitan Cathedral, built by the Spanish starting in 1573, but it wasn't completed until 1813. It always blows my mind to consider buildings that were built over such a long period of time. The idea of planning a building that you know full well will not be completed until after you've long gone. In this case, centuries later. That is some commitment. And let's take a look inside. La Cuenca de Mexico, the Basin of Mexico. This region has been inhabited since ancient times given its plentiful natural resources. The majestic Sierra Nevada and its impressive volcanoes, Iztaccíhuatl and Popocatépetl. I showed Popocatépetl, a volcano and the second tallest mountain in Mexico, which you can see from Puebla. And so this is the Valley of Mexico City and the surrounding towns. There, Teotihuacan, the incredible pyramids, which I visited almost exactly a decade ago in spring of 2015 during my first visit to Mexico. That was at the end of my trip. I flew out of Mexico City that time. It is about an hour away from here, and it is very tempting to go back again. I'll see tomorrow what I want to do, but it is really phenomenal. And then here, La Ciudad de Tenochtitlan. So Tenochtitlan was the city built by the Aztecs, or the Mexica people, before the Spanish arrived in 1325, when it was founded. And so you can see the cathedral right there, just massive. And then this is a model of that, the Templo Mayor, the main temple of the Aztec people and their city here, as I explained, which was ultimately conquered by the Spanish conquistadors, and they destroyed the temple and built the cathedral in its place. That was the standard protocol of the Spanish conquistadors, just eradicate the native culture as much as they could. So here it says, in this space, the Mexicas congregated to witness religious ceremonies and political events. According to historical sources, the precinct had 78 temples in its interior. The most outstanding was the Great Temple, with its 2 shrines dedicated to the gods Tlaloc and Huitzilopochtli. And so it is free to view the temple from here, where I am. you have to pay a ticket entrance to go inside like that, which I would be more than happy to do, but from what I read online, they don't allow any drinks at all inside there, and that includes water. And I have a box of milk in my backpack and a bottle of water, so you're getting a good enough view of it from here. And then I think I can get over there for free as well. Really interesting, whatever that is, that circular platform with some interesting figures on it. And so there you can see it says Plaza de Armas, 1869 to 1928. So maybe 1928 was when it was officially named the Plaza de la Constitución. So let's walk down the street here, and for a little something to talk about, I thought that I would do a recap of my trip so far. This is my 10th trip to Mexico, and I will have been here about exactly 3 weeks by the time I leave in 3 days. So I'll give a little description of the different places that I went to. Flew from Canada to Puerto Vallarta, which I'd been to before. Nice city on the Pacific Ocean. Very touristy, but good restaurants, nice beaches. Definitely recommend it, but it is a bit, overly touristy and kind of Americanized a bit, etc. But for one thing, it's a great city to base yourself and explore the surrounding smaller towns. So while I was in Puerto Vallarta, then I visited Jalapa, a really cool little town that is only accessible by boat. There is a road that goes there, but it is basically not, navigable. It's like four-wheel drive, really bad road. So you have to take a boat there. It's about 45 minutes from Puerto Vallarta, and then it's a really cute little town with a nice beach, a waterfall that you can hike up to, and a very unique town there, kind of sprawled across a hill on the beach. And then from Puerto Vallarta, then I went to Sayulita, and I spent, I think, 6 nights there, and went on day trips visiting some of the other smaller towns around there. So I went to Rincon de Guayabitos, very touristy with Mexican tourists, but a great bay and nice smaller waves for swimming, and so a good family destination, but also quite touristy. And then that same day, then I went to Lo de Marcos, just north of Sayulita, a much mellower scene, really cool little town, big waves, similar to Sayulita. I think that was a period of bigger than usual waves, so it isn't always quite that difficult to swim, but it was, you know, almost impossible to get in the water with the size of the waves. And then a couple days later, then I went to Bucerias, which I wasn't super impressed with, but everybody said in the comments that I had missed the main area to see there, and so my video didn't do it justice, so I'll have to go back another time. And then I traveled by bus from Sayulita, which is a great destination of its own. Really nice kind of ultimate beach town with good beaches, including one that you have to hike to that is very uncrowded. And so I took buses from Sayulita to Mazatlan, which I hadn't been to before, a major Mexican beach resort city that was nicer than I expected. It was definitely a kind of pleasant surprise, so I would recommend it. And then I caught a flight from there to Mexico City here, but didn't stop. I took a bus directly from the Mexico City airport to Puebla, a city that I had heard about, that had been recommended, but hadn't been to it yet, and I was just really, really impressed. Really nice city, very artistic, a beautiful main square, and a lot to see there, both in the city and around it. So while I was staying in Puebla, then I visited Cholula, which, as I learned once I arrived there, has the largest pyramid in the world. Not the tallest, not as tall as the Great Pyramid of Giza, but by total volume, width, length, height, than the largest pyramid in the world, and also a really interesting town with colorful buildings lining the streets there. And then I went by Uber from Puebla, 45 minutes up to Atlixco, or Atlijo. Not quite sure how to pronounce that one because the X is normally pronounced like an H. Anyways, Atlijo, which was a really cute, nice, smaller town in the mountains. Spent just one night there, and then traveled once again by Uber to Tepoztlan, which was also a really nice smaller town. With more to do, it seemed, than Atlijo. Really, really nice central area. And then, as I showed, I hiked up to the temple on top of the mountain there. One of the most intense hikes I've ever done in my life. Extremely steep uphill through the jungle up to the top of the mountain there, but really spectacular hike. And then at the top, a 900-year-old Aztec temple. And so Tepoztlan is definitely somewhere that I would go back to, and somewhere that you could stay for a while. certainly more to see there. But I was getting ready to make my next move and leave Mexico. So I caught a bus from Tepoztlan to Mexico City here 2 days ago. And as you saw, the room there I have for 4 nights. And we'll be exploring more tomorrow. So another amazing journey in Mexico. Okay, let's keep exploring. I think that I'm just going to do some random walking now. There are lots of historical buildings, but it gets to be a bit redundant with the churches and museums and big stone palaces, etc. So I'm just going to kind of focus on the street scene. And I have a mission, a beverage mission. It is time to find an horchata. Let's show a bit more of this street art here. That's a weird one. Up there it says mezcal. So, as I showed in my video in Tepoztlan, I tried mezcal for the first time. Mezcal is a hard alcohol that is made from the agave plant, same as tequila, but it's a different process, and so a slightly different hard alcohol. It was nothing special. If you want to get buzzed or wasted, then it is the way to go. I had 1 shot. I'm not sure, I don't think you're supposed to just like down it. It was too big to down the whole thing. And I think that would be too intense anyways to drink that much all at once. And so it was like this big of a cup and fully clear liquid. Oh, quite interesting down here. Let's keep going this way. That is back to the Zocalo, I think. So let's kind of make a loop going out this way. And so I just sipped away on that for 30 minutes or whatever, and 1 was enough. Especially since I had a big hike to do. That was at the beginning of the hike. Okay, sanitarios, and then look for an horchata. So here we have the sign, CDMX. Ciudad Mexico. Kind of a humble and not very attractive sign for such a spectacular city. I wonder if there's another one somewhere else that says, you know, Mexico City, bigger letters, nicer looking. Anyways, quite an interesting area here. Which direction to go in? Okay, let's go down here because I see some kind of a big, sort of a monument thing. So, that thing. What is that green and bronze monument or memorial or whatever? We're definitely a little more out of the tourist zone here. Local shopping.
Toda la blusa 3%. Así es, blusas de Gatsby. 3%.
So I'm not sure what that monument is, but it looks like there's a big street in the way to cross to get close up to it. And I am just getting tired out with all the walking and not such an amazing thing that I need to go see it up close. So still worth a wander through this more local market area. But I am about ready to get off my feet. So I am going to start making my way back and decide if I'm going to catch an Uber or taxi or walk it. Now, people often ask how much do I walk in a day, and I have no idea. I mean, it just depends on the day for one thing, but it is certainly miles on many days. So I'm going to plug in my hotel, show you what it says, because I started the walking from there. It is a 40-minute walk, 2.9 kilometers, so that is 2 miles. But I wandered around a bit. It wasn't direct, and so 2.5 to 3 miles that I've walked so far today, and more to go. But I'm going to look on the map, see if there's anything else in particular I want to see today, but I'm definitely feeling like it is about time to get back to the room and take a break. But bebidas, drinks. Where's my horchata? Gotta find it. So I'm back at the CDMX sign. And am going to walk down this way. This seems like somewhere where I might find an horchata. Let's find out. Okay, we got orange juice. That's headed in the right direction. Horchata is a Mexican rice drink with sugar and I think cinnamon. There are different recipes. Sometimes it has regular cow's milk, rice milk, oat milk even. And it is very tasty. One of my all-time favorite beverages. Okay, aquí es café. Huh. Not quite. What is that? Gourmet ice. And we are so just dipping a toe, hola, in Mexico City in this video. I mean, we've covered like a few blocks out of miles and miles, so I am definitely not going to really do the whole city justice in the course of my short time here, but show a bit better than nothing, hopefully. Continues down that way, but I'm ready to start making my way back in the general direction of my hotel. Well, I'm striking out in my horchata quest, so I've decided to settle for the box of milk that I had in my backpack. I'm just too thirsty, but want something other than water, so I am wiped out. I think that I'm going to catch an Uber from here back to my hotel, save my legs. Tomorrow is another day. I will see if I'm in the mood for more walking and filming, but so possibly one more video coming from Mexico Ciudad. Hasta luego.